Sophie Cunningham warns her time with Indiana Fever may already be over as Wnba lockout chaos looms large. Sophie Cunningham had a memorable 2025 season with the Indiana Fever, but her expiring contract and frustration with Wnba leadership suggest it could be her last. She voiced concerns over financial inequality and a potential lockout, reflecting broader player discontent. Despite the league's growing popularity, Sophie Cunningham had a memorable 2025 season with the Indiana Fever, but it also showed some flaws in the Wnba. Injuries to key players and her emergence as a fan favorite showcased the team's resilience. Yet, behind the celebrations, Sophie Cunningham's frustration with the management and the impending financial issues hint that trouble could be on the horizon. Is this going to be her final season in a Fever jersey? Sophie Cunningham hints it may be her last season wearing an Indiana Fever jersey. Sophie Cunningham's contract situation brings a personal touch to the madness. She inked a one-year contract with the Indiana Fever for $100,000, which ended at the close of the season, leaving her as an unrestricted free agent. On the podcast, she suggested a sense of closure. "This could be my last time in an Indiana Fever jersey." Teammate Caitlin Clark has publicly lobbied for her return, commenting "We need you back" on Sophie Cunningham's social media post, recapping the season. A lockout might push back free agency signings, making it tougher for the Indiana Fever to rebuild their roster. Since there are only a handful of players signed, Clark is still on her rookie contract. The team could end up losing important players like Sophie Cunningham if talks take too long. Sophie Cunningham signs one-year contract and becomes fan favorite in 2025. The Indiana Fever's 2025 season was all about bouncing back through tough times. They brought in Sophie Cunningham through a trade with the Phoenix Mercury in February 2025, giving her a one-year deal. Even with injuries taking out key players like rookie star Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Carlson, and more, the Indiana Fever made it to the semifinals, where they lost 3-2 to the Las Vegas Aces. This playoff journey surprised everyone, with Sophie Cunningham becoming a fan favorite for how she looked out for Clark and her lively energy. During her exit interview on October 2, 2025, Sophie Cunningham talked about the season being all about strong team connections. "Our locker room was so close-knit and so fun and full of love that I've never been part of a locker room like that ever," she told reporters at the Indiana Fever's media session. However, she also called it a season from hell due to the injury bug that plagued the roster. The Indiana Fever made it to just one game shy of the finals, proving their toughness, but it also led to some off-season questions. Sophie Cunningham voices frustration with Wnba leadership. Sophie Cunningham didn't hold back in her assessments of the league. During her appearance on the Show Me Something podcast with West Wilson, released on October 3, 2025, she addressed leadership shortcomings. "I'm just tired of our league. They need to step up and be better. Our leadership from top to bottom needs to be held accountable," Sophie Cunningham told the host straight up. She backed up Minnesota Lynx forward Napheesa Collier's points, stressing that Wnba Commissioner Kathy Engelbert doesn't appreciate what players bring to the table. Sophie Cunningham also warned of player action. "There's a potential lockout. I promise you we aren't going to play until they give us what we deserve," she said on the podcast, signaling readiness for a strike if demands aren't met. In her exit interview, she called the lockout the dumbest decision, urging better investment in officiating and overall operations. These statements reflect growing frustration among players amid the league's rising popularity.